When someone's inner world is shattering and they don't know who they are anymore, well, what happens when Carl Jung goes through that? He knows what's happening. And that conscious experience of knowing which phase of your life you're in, that is a huge super hack. There should be moments in your life, like let's say you get banned on your first week of Twitch, you should think to yourself, I'm not loving enough. I got banned for this reason. The number one reason, the number one answer to anything bad happening to you should always be, I'm lacking love. That's why there's a heavy lesson here. That's a good way to get out of the blur. Not to make yourself like a sympathy type of fucking homo, right? Because, giving love is not what you've been told. It's not that energy of bowing down to people. It's actually very boastful in energy, not in words, but in energy. You would be smiling at someone like, welcome to this sushi restaurant. And they'll laugh. They'll be like, Zherka, why are you talking like that? And I'll be like, oh man, this guy's so jolly. Why is Zherka so jolly? I know all of his content is very aggressive. Why is he so jolly? And it's like, bro, I can only be authentically aggressive if I can be authentically jolly. God's nature is not anything of what these religions have said. God died on the cross. That's his nature. And you have to align that to that nature to see that nature being reality, right? You have to every day ask yourself, who am I dying for? Who are the people in my immediate circle that get everything I've built? All the karmic substance. And the deeper mystery begins with, why am I exhaustible? Why am I inexhaustible when I think of sacrificing myself for love? Why do I gain so much energy? Have you ever gone for a run with a bunch of rocks in your bag or whatever? You get a heavy backpack with a bunch of heavy books and you go for a run and it's breaking your back and you say, I'm going to do five. I do 5-hour runs because, I don't want to be like the average guy. And I want to be hurt by the end of it. And I just think of the Christ suffering on the cross and my suffering becomes manageable. And I'm like, I wonder if every human can do that, or does it take someone who believes in the mysteries? I mean, I think every human can do that. Is they can, if you're suffering physically, start with a physical workout, and then go towards the inward. But you going through your workout and you say, I got 100 more reps left, or I'm doing this, or I'm running here, and then you use your imagination to go to that place where the Christ went when he's suffering, and you go, you know what? I am infinitely humbled right now, and I think I'll go a couple more hours. And a lot of people don't realize that these mysteries are unlocked when you're suffering. These mysteries are not unlocked when you're just playing Minecraft. Yeah, go ahead, Josie.
Yeah, that when you said if you're not suffering, you're not doing it right. So you're so real for that. But how would you explain to, let's say, an 18-year-old secular slash atheist girl that, let's say, you want to go for the OnlyFans, like get an easy route, that if you go the easy route, you're not doing it right, but that person isn't religious? How would you explain that?
I wouldn't, when someone comes to you with something like, hey, I'm trying to do OnlyFans, usually they've made up their mind probably when they were young. And they're gonna go through that. Like how many people try to stop Clav doing certain things and he has to go through that. Once you see person's biography in the look in their eyes, you know where they're going, you know where they're headed. Just like we can see Sneeko's biographies that he has to crash next. What do you do? Like when has a wise person ever said don't do it? It's like, what do you're talking to a mule at that point. And if a woman felt lack in her childhood, lack in her experience on earth, she's going to go to OnlyFans, and saying no just makes you the dad that gets defiled, right? You become the dad that she argues with and whatever, and it doesn't really do anything. It's not an effective posture in the world. Actually, even silence would be more powerful than telling her what to do, because in that silence, she will choke and she will feel that it is the wrong answer. But yeah, telling people what they should and should not do is it's a scary thing, man. Like in this world, The freedom impulse in every soul is so, even when it's diminished, it's so powerful. It just wants to be left alone. I want to do what I want to do. And usually it's a million things you don't even want to do. You're unfree. And these women who have to do OnlyFans, you don't come up to me and say, Zherka, I want to do OnlyFans. I say, you've already made up your mind. You probably already have an account that's anonymous and you've already started, and they always laugh and they go, yeah. And it's like, I'm not in that, I look at someone's evolution. I'll never look at someone as like a base judgment right there. Well, yeah, they incarnated to be whores. Sorry to say that, but a lot of these people incarnate for that exact lesson that they think is freedom, and they have to fully taste it before they say this is not true freedom. And you know, this is what the Christian mysteries talk about: is that the world can get good, ebb and flow. It can get good, then it can spiral. It can get good, then it can spiral. And this is all we see: old systems breaking down, and it spirals. And we're in a rapid decline of just sensible morality since the 90s. It's like, it's just nonsensical. And you only have both sides to blame, really. And, if a young girl said to me, hey, Zherka, I want to make an OnlyFans account, I say, I don't judge you, but you're a whore. I'm not judging you. I'm not hating on you. But that profession by definition means whore. And they go, I know. And I go, okay, so you're calling yourself a whore. And they go, I know. That's my self-knowledge, is that I'm a whore. And, without hate in my heart, I will always look at them as a character analysis. That's all I do in this world, is observe. And it's a guilty feeling. All I do is observe people and move way more forward in my life and sound more pure, more intelligent, more powerful, everything going correct. And sometimes it feels like I'm just absorbing it from all the wrong I see in society. And I feel guilty because all the wrong I did in the world somehow boosted me up still. Still, I was conscious enough to transform it. I was reflective with my evil, which a lot of people are just evil like animals. And you can't teach that. That is some people have that philosopher's intuition where they have to reflect on something evil that they've done to someone else. And others, they're more, of the senses, I guess. I think a modern Christian take would be tell her to stop. I think that makes her want to do it more. But I'd say bring more consciousness into you talking to her. If she can get, transforming someone's mental health issue really comes to the when you are Yoda and you are a master at this, is really about asking the right questions so they become conscious to their experience on earth and what they're doing to their soul. And then usually they make a better choice from that. But if you're conscious and they're not, oh, they don't hear you, right? You have to kindle that spark in them. Look at the great, study the greats, right? The Stoics got it wrong, by the way. You can learn a lot from them, temperance and all that, but they got it wrong. There's an optimism towards life that Jesus Christ actually got correct. And I'm saying that because a lot of you guys don't believe in religion. You say you're Christians, but you don't actually believe in it. But I will always make the argument that forget the philosophers, the theosophists, the what, just forget all of them and look at how Jesus Christ approaches the darkest part of earth evolution, the Roman time, right? Go look at how Jesus Christ approaches that. And you will see that yes, you can get angry, but don't get off the middle. Don't lose character. Yeah, you can. There's times where things sway. There's even times for sorrow and crying. God cried for us. Don't forget that. And God cried in pain too, which a lot of Muslims confuse. How can God feel pain? And it's like, dude, there is nothing impressive about a God becoming man and tanking all of it, tanking the experience. Just, oh wow, all these whips and lashes, everything. Wow, yo, this hurts, and tanks it, and then just rises, and we're like, whoa, dude, that's so powerful. That don't move me. That don't move me at all. Like, you came and tanked the experience. No, what moves man is knowing God felt every piece of that pain and existential dread. that man goes through today, but infinitely worse. And so instead of tanking it, what you have to endure. And God did something different, endured without having a second of poison against us. Like, fuck these people, right? Not to make this a preachy lesson, but you guys have to understand that the guidebook on how to move in life is scripture. If that's too deep and heavy for you, then you can start with the stuff I teach, which is very lengthy. That my optimism is not optimism, philosophical optimism. Mine's Christ-like optimism. A month should feel like a year to a human being. A month should feel like a year. Many things should happen in 30 days. I'm not talking about eventful things. It could be inward activity of just what's happening in your own thought world, but it should be massive to you. And the only people who agree here will be productive people. If you are not productive, then a month zips by quick. That's not good. That's not, you are meant to shape time by your own hands, right? You're meant to slow down time when you want to. And remember, like a lot of red pillars talk about this discipline shit. Discipline is useless if you don't love your job. Okay, that's something that no human tells anyone anymore. I don't know what the fuck happened to the world. It's because we're a loveless society. We don't speak about the love principle of the universe, which is the Christ. Everything in the universe that's expanded outward like this, that exploded everywhere, is love, right? You're created out of this. So if you don't love your job, you're playing the game backwards. If you're listening to some fucking idiot who keeps saying discipline, they're saying it to sound cool. Everything is related to this explosion of ever pouring love we get from the Christ. And remember that one day you will have to do that. Once your ego is strong enough, once your temple is something you can sacrifice, you will put it on the altar and you will sacrifice yourself for mankind. That's actually why you have brothers and sisters and family members and or some lower levels of consciousness have animals. Have you ever noticed that? Like if someone doesn't have anything yet, he practices love on animals. Eventually, you must see, through the Christian lens, you must see everyone on earth as your brother, and you will have to die for them. This might take a long time. It'll be in every which way, and it will structure the cosmos. Because remember, every new day is not planned. Okay, relax on that. You will be surprising yourself a lot in this journey, but the potential of the infinite is already out there, right? You can tune into this potential. There is a world where you drive a Ferrari, but you don't buy the Ferrari because you're too smart. And to tune into this higher self, the potential's out there. Don't think it's out there. It's all within. But the potential, what does potential mean in an acorn seed? Like, think about that. And are you not more important than a fucking tree? Well, you are that tree. You're breathing that motherfucking tree, and it's breathing you. You understand? Everyone goes up together, and you can't be left behind to make, to evolve in a slower way. If you don't know what I mean by that, look at Africa. Clearly, not everyone's on the same level. All right? And before you understand a thief, like, oh, they just have it bad, you're not supposed to feel bad for people. You're not supposed to be an emotional wreck. It's not like our whole judicial system, law and order, everything a judge and a lawyer, the people you respect most in society, everything they study about law and order comes from the Bible. But let me take it deeper. Just use scripture as a handbook for your life. It's not going to help you in the first year. Actually, that might be the worst year of your life. But over 20, 30, 40 years, you will be a billion times more involved than the average person. And it is the long game. But check this out, there is no other game to play. What do you think becoming good at bowling is a smart use of your time? Really? Or what do you want to get all the bitches? Which is funny, people point at me and they're like, well, you did that, Zherka. No, I didn't. You think I ran after bitches and they follow me? They follow the being. I'm not snaking you when I say if you work your ass off, not for 5 years, not for 10 years, just commit yourself to working your ass off every day till you're 75 years old. And to the last second, for your last breath, you're working your ass off. That's how you get the most out of one incarnation. And, if you've ever wondered why an ugly guy gets the woman, that guy's pouring love into his universe, not just her. For the law of assumptions and the law of attraction, guys, the Dana White energies, right? You guys have to focus on the nightmare situation. And the nightmare situation, let's say your life's going great, money, girlfriend, all that. You love the bitch and all that. It's been a couple of months and you feel like, oh, this is love. But it's a love of state, your new lifestyle. The big fear that no one really gets into is you love it so much that you're complacent. It doesn't mean your energy is complacent. You might still work hard and all that. But in the quantum field, in the matrix, whatever you want to call it, you signal that you've hit perfection. And there's something about the world that when your girlfriend is great and your life's going great, there's something that happens to every man where you psychically just agree with God and everything in the matrix. You agree that life can stop here. It's perfect. And as soon as you do that, you might consciously do it, you might unconsciously, like the rest of us, but you always know. As soon as you do that, that bitch is going to leave you and everything's going to start going wrong. For a lot of guys, it's not really career, it's always the woman thing. I've noticed in the data I've collected personally, my anecdotes, it's more about women than career. Like, my guys are good at the money part, but the women part is like some of you chads are fucking up bad. And you're doing everything right, but there's this thing that happens in the matrix, man. As soon as you're holding on to anything earthly with the energy of time can freeze here, my life's perfect, everything starts going wrong for you. As soon as you interrupt psychic evolution, that as soon every day you have to evolve, for better or for worse, it doesn't fucking matter, but that wheel has to turn for some reason. As soon as your life is perfect, you psychically hold on to it, and the whole matrix rips it from your hands. And the saddest part of this is that most young men only held on to it because they didn't want to be greedy. They only held on to it because they said, hey, man, I'm done with the blessings. My life's great. The law of assumption, the law of attraction, I've mastered it. We can stop here. I don't need any more blessings. Just leave me with this salary and this girlfriend. Life can't get better. I might get the bitch pregnant. And a lot of us in our hearts, we're not even bad guys. We do that as a way of saying, here, I want to stop here. I want to get off the dragon of time here. And it's the biggest fucking evil you can do to yourself. And there's a million people DMing me right now saying, holy fuck, that happened to me. It's not that mystical, bro. It's happened to everyone. Have you ever heard of those fucking quotes? You don't know what you've got till it's gone. What you've got, as in you've got something, you captured it. Bro, let go. If life's going good, let it go. Don't hold on to it. That's the only way you can keep gliding. And even that throws you side quests, but I'm telling you, the nightmare situation that I'm convinced there's 26-year-olds who figured this shit out. I'm convinced you don't have to be 30 to know this shit.
And I'm like, that's so Zherka though, when life's going good. You know, my first 2 years after my first prayer, I wouldn't pray asking for shit because I thought I was greedy. But that's even more greedy is you're holding on to your world. For some reason, that's the worst thing you can do to yourself. And nobody can explain why everything goes wrong when you agree that everything can't get better. Because you agreed everything cannot get better, therefore it can only get worse. It cannot get better. And it has to get better, dude. I'm convinced you didn't even do, some of you guys didn't even do anything wrong. She just left you because you fucked with the quantum field. You told that the matrix, you told that energy, this blessings from God, these eternal blessings that keep pouring our way. The worst thing you can do is stop the blessings and put your hand up and say, I'm really good right now. And you're like, but dude, I don't want to be like these greedy guys who just endless blessings and keep going. And but you have to be. You have to be like, they're not greedy, dude. It's you can have everything you want, bro. I'm not saying you're getting it, but that's the mindset. You have to keep it open. Are you saying God's blessings are limited? Fuck out of here with that weak shit. What would be the perfect advice to give to someone? A young man who his life is going perfect. Now, the only thing that could go wrong is him noticing it went perfect, because that's when it goes south, right? It might take a few weeks, right? Maybe even a month or two. If you're lucky, 6, but no more than that. Everything goes wrong after that. And it's because you're putting it out there that things cannot get better. When if you look at, you're on Earth for 100 years, let's say it has to get better, right? It has to get better. And even moving the time along is getting better. Nothing, it doesn't have to be eventful, right? I always found that the most the biggest bitch slap I'd ever get from God. Like when I was young, when I was a young man, and I'd be, you know how we as young men, we'd have like grievances with God. We wouldn't say it, but you know, everyone has their angers with the lack of blessings they're getting or whatever, or comparing to other people and friends and whatever. I remember my biggest grievance always being like, how come I can't have a few weeks of that Zherka? You know, that Zherka's so happy. As soon as I cling on to that, I love that Zherka. That Zherka with that girl, with that job. As soon as I cling on to that, it gets pulled from me in a romantic way where it's all, when I say romantic, I mean like the angels up in heaven are watching and going like, what the fuck? This guy's dreams are being pulled from his hands and it's so unfair. But when I've done the research, and I've done so much of this kind of research on qualitative time, on synchronicity, on all this stuff, probabilities, all that, and I come down to the conclusion of, holy shit, dude, it's not just me. They just can't put it into words. No YouTuber can put it into words, but I get like so many DMs every time I open this topic, and I'm like, this is what all these mystics talked about is do not be of this world, even in the Bible, right? It's like you hold on to stuff that's earthly, and for some reason it gets pulled from you, and everyone is convinced that the mystics are saying just be a monk, just you don't need, you just be wrapped in sheets like fucking nuns. They're wrapped in sheets. And no, they're saying you can have your blessings, don't get attached to them. Right? Now there's some of us who are like initiated and have to go further, and maybe they can be wrapped in sheets, but for most people on earth who live just a regular life, 9 to 5, all they have to do is not get attached to that 9 to 5, and then bigger opportunities will come to crash them out of that life into something better. And you see this with MMA fighters too, where you know they win a belt and they hold on to that state of who they are as a champion. And for some reason, it's bad. They have to be an evolved champion. They can't hold on to that year's championship, or else horrific shit happens to them in their career. And the more you looked into athletes and stuff like this, I'll say like Tom Brady. He's a bad example because his wife's a satanic witch bitch. But I would say he seems like the type who his energy doesn't really cling on to the material world. He's got this energy of there's more coming. Oh yeah, whatever. But when I look at the average human, every time we have it good in our lives, we have this psychic red stop sign in our head that says, okay, enough good things. Enough good things. This is great because we have this instinct to think that good things are going to knock us out of whatever the fuck heaven we just entered. That life can't get better. Don't even shuffle the cards, bro. I want to stay here. Every time you fuck with time, the dragon of time, and you do that, you get fucking punished badly. And when you see attention as a day-to-day thing, you start to realize, wait a minute. Okay, let's say this week you made 100,000. Okay? Now you could go party with your friends and some bitches and really hold on to that. And you really want to celebrate because what is celebration anyway? What is this drinking and smoking and all this? What are you really doing? It's a ritual of trying to get time to stop. You're trying to slow it down. We all know what you're trying to do. But if you just keep taking steps forward, almost like these Bill Gates types, right? That these satanic Bill Gates, that, he's not a role model, but you can just see in his fucking eyes that when he fucks with the Matrix on his 28, on his pig ass shit, when he walks forward and makes billions, he goes, yeah, I think I'll just make some more. Whereas a lot of us would pause at billions and say, holy fuck, pinch me, I'm dreaming, I gotta hold on to this reality. And as soon as you try and hold on to it, it's like you're inviting the agents from the Matrix to come rip it out of your hand. And man, I wish I knew this at 21, 22. That I wish I knew that let's call it like a stoic monk energy of things going right. Yeah, things are going right. More things are going to go right. But when things go right for the average Zoomer, their first thought is, oh my God, dude, John, it can't get better. It can't, and it's so sad when I talk to you guys on calls and you have that chuckle. You're 23 years old, 24, and you have this chuckle of like, dude, Zherka, last time I talked to you on call, and now I'm making $7,000 more. And you have this chuckle, and you look at my face like, whoa, Zherka's not happy. Like, why is he not? Why doesn't he be like the guy who, I'm going to post this call with one of them. It's like a great call, but I could have been more critical on this, that I really, really want to hammer this home, guys. It's terrifying to get that chuckle. You should be traumatized when you're that happy. It's a very bad thing because we as humans, for some reason, we don't just stay happy. We start to play weird games with our unconscious operating self. We start to do things ritualistically to signal to the quantum field that we don't want to play the game anymore. We're happy here. We're making great money here. We got tits and ass here. And then it comes back and fucks us up. And I see right now I got a bunch of DMs saying, holy fuck, you're spitting, you're this. Listen, man, what are the techniques of getting used to winning? Because I don't think anyone's ever shown us these techniques. You can see a lot of spoiled kids and a lot of these kind of bratty types, a lot of these narcissist personalities, they win a lot more in life, man. I still remember when I wouldn't put a donation button in my first weeks of streaming. As I said, I'm going to have it anyway. I'm going to have all the money. I don't give a fuck. But imagine if I did put a little faggot donation button day one and I scrambled and scrambled for like money and donos. And then what state would I be? I'd be in my welfare state. And people don't understand that a good state might last you a day. A bad state might last you a week. Yeah, and it's contagious. It's hurting your friends and family. It's lowering their degrees too, right? It's putting them in a worse state. So, yeah, it's a virus. Negativity is a virus. And no one ever talks about, I've never seen a podcast talk about how the most negative thing you could be is positive. Because you might be so positive of the materials you have on earth right now that your blessings stop right there. And when blessings stop, you don't just freeze. Because, bro, a lot of us would have loved to freeze. Like, oh, 21, have my girlfriend, have a good job, whatever, having a blast. We'll stop here. You know, a lot of guys are not like the conqueror mindset. Most guys would love, I'm convinced 99% of the public would freeze if they could, right? That, oh, life can't get better. Let's just call it here. And that's the most dangerous thing you can do. Because you're really saying, I don't want to play ball. I don't want no more curveballs from the universe, bro. I don't want any more curveballs. And it's like, oh, you don't want to play the game now that you got your little wins? Oh, really? You think you're going to just go to sleep in that pussy? Oh, ho, 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 ho. Let's take away all that, and then you can have curveballs. Let's take away your paradise first, and then we'll start throwing curveballs because you have to play. And that machine, this is baseball, and that machine, it doesn't stop. But John, what if I'm depressed? Bro, this matrix, this system doesn't give a fuck. That machine keeps going. The baseballs are cracking your skull and you're bleeding, and that machine is still going. You're winning in life, that machine's still going. The only time that curveball machine ever takes breaks and slows down is when you're winning nonchalant. You know? You kick a ball into a net, don't celebrate too much. Don't make it a ritual. You're making it a ritual that you never fucking do that. That it's a surprise party. Oh, surprise, I made a goal. You're making a ritual that it's rare that you make goals like that. No, you shrug your shoulders and you go, I can do this all day. I can do this all day because when you say I can, you actually just did, nigga. In that state, you can, bitch. And the state is gonna be fleeting. It doesn't matter, even when you master this, it fleets. It flies away. And then it comes back like the N-word. It calls you the hard R. But you're that nigga. You don't do hard R. And people are like, well, is it like a faith component that you just have faith in God? And the blessings keep coming in and you don't really make anything ritualistic or anything, to tap into this kind of... Yeah, dude, I'll tell you this, man. I can't explain how or why, and I don't think anyone who says they can is a fucking faggot. But I'll tell you this, man. You have to evolve. That's all it is, bro. A fucking seed turns into a apple tree, right? That it had that potentiality there, and that if it doesn't grow, it dies. The calf becomes the cow. The Charmander becomes a Charizard. Or my nephew likes the new Mega Evolved Charizard, but I think he's black now, so I don't know about the race mixing. But I'm saying this, man. There's gonna come lots of failures for you young men. A lot of failures are gonna come knock you guys upside the head, and you guys are gonna look for advice. You guys are gonna look for leaders on the internet who got their shit together. And the colorful ones are going to stand out and stuff, and they're going to talk about getting up when you've lost, but that's not the danger, dude. It's staying up when you've won. That's the real tricky part. And all you have to do is not cling to it, right? Sounds simple. It's tough. Like, I do want to make a ritualistic celebration of, I told you so, faggot. I told you I'm on my next money, bitch. I told you fucking bitches. I kick my feet up and I triple my shit. I really want to say that right now. But more is coming my way. So I'm just going to chill, right? I want to take my good news and my bad news and all that and throw it in the pile of evolution. Because I got to jump in that pile. I got to evolve. And the interesting thing is, this state of you winning, this angel wing state, the interesting part of all this is that, have you noticed you can't really own the state? You tap into it, but if you're not doing the right things for yourself, and it's always about the self for some reason. I know, sounds crazy, but God wants you to look after yourself a lot more than you've been taught. A lot more. I mean, it really comes down to that stupid meme of adjust your mask before you do a passenger's. My dude, you have to take care of yourself so well that it's almost like other people don't exist for you to have the aura to magnetically bring them your way to help them. Guys, if there's ever a time to not give a fuck, yeah, it's important with losses, but it's really, really a lot more important with your wins. When you guys are getting through your big wins, Zherka, I'm making 7,000 more a month, and after I talk to you and blah blah blah, bro, you're making a little too much celebration out of this, and I don't like that. Right? That's not you. That's the loser you that's surprised you did that. Okay? Don't make getting a girlfriend a big hoopla. A lot of you guys are scaring me with the date IQ stuff. Okay? It's not really something you should celebrate at all. Okay? She's gonna pick up on your energy. Like we pick up on these 97% is nonverbal. That's communication. It's just energies. We pick up on energies. Stop revealing to the world that you're desperate. Like you're celebrating way too much. That goofy faggot smile you have is way too large. You're smiling like you'll never get paid this much again. That's what you're smiling like, and it's fucking horrific if you're actually in the law of assumption communities and the law of attraction. If you're on your Dana White shit, the top guys don't give a fuck, bro. Dana grins at making millions. He doesn't go sit in a room and fucking laugh his ass off like a dumbass because he knows that's ritualistic. He knows what's happening if he dwells into that too much, right? Anyways, we're going to bring some people on, but that's my spiel for today. And just a reminder that I'm up. I'm not just up, I'm up as always, bitch.